Good morning, flutarians. My flute is so cold. It's 24 degrees Fahrenheit here in Austin, Texas. Thank you for joining me for another Atomic Flutist warm-up where we build our flute practice habits and our flute technique habits one little atomic-sized chunk at a time. Let's go ahead and get started with an improvisation on just these three notes. A, B, C natural. These are like the first three notes of the A minor scale. So we'll just do this for 30 seconds to 1 minute. Remember, you can improvise with the vibrato, the dynamics, the articulation. The sandbox is just drawn around the three notes that we'll play, A, B, and C. Already feeling warmer than I did 30 seconds ago. So in my opinion, the low notes, the lowest register on the flute is the foundation for a beautiful upper octave. And for that reason, I always warm up my lower register first. I also think that playing the lowest notes on the flute, you kind of have to relax into them. You can't force flow, so to speak. And I've been noticing lately that the lowest notes is almost flat like a pancake like this, as opposed to more round like this. So let's start on that A and go down the chromatic scale 2 notes per breath. Let's do this without vibrato and with a crescendo in the middle. So I recommend starting as quietly as you can possibly play and ending as quietly as you can possibly play, and in the middle trying to make a crescendo to the loudest you can possibly play. That way we can start accommodating for the fact, or what's the word? Anyway, adjusting to the fact that the flute, when we play louder, tends to go sharp, and when we play quieter, tends to go flat. So we want to adjust for that. So let's start on A to A flat. It's also important, especially for improvisation, to have an awareness of how full is our air tank. So you can think about making the transition between the two notes at the moment at which you pass 51% full or 51% empty. So let's do A flat to G. Now, when you're doing this, if your note accidentally cracks up to the higher octave, I recommend going back to the last pair and doing that one again and seeing if you can relax into the next lowest one. Let's do G to G flat. Let's keep going all the way down to low C. Here's E to E flat. Now let's go back up to this A and try another method of reaching down to the lowest note. So this time I want to, the first one will sound like a trill from A to A flat, but after that I want to add one chromatic note at a time, and I want you to kind of pause on the bottom note for a couple of seconds before you come back up. So at the end it'll sound something like this. Well, see, I need to warm up too. So anyway, you hold the note, bottom note a little bit, then come back up to the top. So let's start on the A to A. And we'll go down all the way to G. Down to F sharp. Down to F natural. Down to E. Let's go down to E flat. And down to D. D flat. And down to C. Now let's try just a minute of what I think of as fairy tones, though I think other people call them whistle tones. So you may have noticed sometimes when you're starting or ending your note on flute, you get this little sound that can only be heard within a foot or so. Here, I'll give an example. I guess it could probably be heard further than a foot away, but I think that happens when we have only maybe 10 to 20% of the volume of air coming out of our mouths. So we practice this to develop finesse in our embouchure, but also to develop an awareness of what is happening in the embouchure when those whistle tones come out, so that we can intentionally avoid them when we don't want them. So let's try it starting on that A, and then let's do the little walk down chromatically like we were doing before, just 2 notes at a time. Let's go all the way down to the E. You may notice that there's a harmonic series that happens here too. G to F sharp. I've heard a couple of professional flutists say that they use these whistle tones to warm up their embouchure, get the blood flowing to the muscles in their embouchure while they're backstage waiting for a performance to start. So sometimes we may be in a scenario where we can't make a full sound to warm up, but we still want to do anything we can to get the muscles and our embouchure and our bodies prepared to play soon. So let's do another kind of extended technique, flutter tongue. I know some of you say you can't do this at all, but it's worth giving it a try. Some people do kind of a growl in their throat with the uvula. You can try that too. This is an excellent way to warm up our airstream, our breathing muscles, because in my opinion, it takes more air to get the flutter tongue out. The other advantage to the flutter tongue is that it causes a lot of vibration, and that vibration makes it difficult to get the note out. So we have to try harder to shape our embouchure for the note that's coming out. So we'll start again on the A, go down by half step by the chromatic scale. And I start the note first. Let's see. No, I'm thinking about singing. Experiment with starting with the flutter tongue and then taking it out while keeping the note going, and then adding back in the flutter tongue. So let's start on that A. I'm going to put this drone tone back on for tuning. and A flat. Let's do one more on the G. Let's do a minute of vibrato practice as well on those three notes. G, G, then we'll do A flat, then back to A. So let's do it in this method where we start slow vibrato, and then we make it faster and faster and faster. I start thinking 1 beat per, 1 wobble per beat, then 2 wobbles per beat, then 3, then 4, then 5. And then let's take a breath and do the opposite where we start fast and then get slower and slower and slower. Let's do this on the G first. Slow to fast. And fast to slow. Let's do the same thing on the A sharp. I mean, the G sharp is what I meant to say this note. Let's start slow to fast. And fast to slow. Now let's do the same thing, slow to fast on A. And fast to slow. Sorry if I mixed up my words the note before last and said it backwards. It's still good practice though, right? So let's do a little bit of octave work now and start reaching up into the upper octave. Let's do this as the A minor scale. So A minor scale, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. It's the same notes as the C major scale, just starting a minor third below in a different order, you could say. So take a big breath, and we're going to go back and forth between the upper octave, the lower octave to the upper octave, lower octave to upper octave. And do this without the tongue articulating so that you can start sensing in your embouchure exactly where the change happens. I notice a little, not really a kick, but like a tightening of my core muscles when I go up. And it's almost like my lips get a little bit kissy, pouty lips for the upper octave. So let's do that now on B. It's as if I were blowing through a straw. I'm blowing down here for the low notes. I'm changing the angle a little bit. Let's try that on the C. And the D. Now on the D, I decided to leave my fingers the same as opposed to lifting these ones in my right hand for the upper octave. Now let's do the E. Same thing. Now normally for the upper E, we would lift this finger. Let's try it leaving our fingers the same so it's like a harmonic. And the G. Same thing with the A. Now on most of those notes for the upper octave, we would normally change our fingering to make the note more clear. Like here's the difference between the harmonic fingering for the A and the upper octave fingering. So you can tell it's a little bit more flat with the harmonic fingering, the fingering of the lower octave. But it's great to practice this with the harmonic fingerings and with the no tongue articulation, the lack of articulation, because if it's more difficult to get the note out with the harmonic, and we can still get it out, it will be that much easier to get it out with the proper upper register fingering. Same thing with starting the air. I find that a little ta gets the airstream moving faster out of my mouth, and it helps to start the note and make it sound. So let's try the same thing again, starting on this A, but adding the ta, ta, ta to start with. And B. F. And G. And noticing some action in the camera as well. Here, I guess it's my tongue moving for the articulation. Feels like also for the lower notes, my tongue is kind of in a... Was that the G? Yeah, let's do the A. Let's finish it up with the A. High A. Now that's with the harmonic fingering. Let's go to the A upper octave fingering where I lift this finger, left pointer finger, and put down my right pointer finger. So let's start on that note and walk down the A minor scale. But let's practice a moment of double tonguing. So double tonguing is where you alternate syllables either between t and k or d and g. The main difference is that the first syllable, your tongue is at the front, kind of towards your teeth. And the second syllable, the g or k, is your tongue is kind of contacting at the back of your mouth where the soft palate starts. T, g, t, g. So we'll do 4 articulations per note. Excuse me. Let's finish up with another short improv on those notes. A, B, and C natural. But let's do it in these ones. Earlier I did these ones. So just those 3 notes. Remember, you can improvise with the articulation, with the rhythm, with the order of the notes, your vibrato, the dynamics. Well, thanks for warming up with me. Thanks for joining me for another session of the Atomic Flutist. I encourage you to practice these as much as you can on your own time. It's even better to do it in little chunks throughout the day as opposed to one big chunk, but do what works for you. Later today at 7 p.m. Central Time, I'll be opening up the Zoom room for group improv games. We'll have some fun, play some music together, exercise some of these individual elements or chunks that go into creating a lovely improvised melody or harmony. And at the end of that session, I'll highlight one kirtan song and show you a couple of ways you can start inventing a melody or harmony with it. And then at 8 p.m. Central Time, I'll go live on YouTube and play a couple of kirtan songs and maybe be joined by a couple of guest flutarians. So join me if you can. If you can't make it tonight, make sure to and school, where you can find the calendar of events, some games that you can play on your own time, and a supportive community of other flutists who are improving their improvising. See you later.